Hi, my name's Brooke, and I am the one behind the channel, Brooke Makes Stuff. Today we're going to do a very quick little flip through of my bullet journal that I had from August of last year, and the final month is going to be set up at the end of the video, and it's going to be April of this year. So as you can see, I was starting to get it back into art a little bit throughout the time that I had this journal. And in the beginning, I was all gung-ho for all sorts of little like lists, and I'm forgetting the name of them right now, but those the collections of all sorts. I have this one for documenting the birth of my son, and a bunch that I just kind of neglected completely. But yeah, savings obviously stop doing that. I stopped doing a bunch of stuff. But yeah, okay, so we get to August here, and this is when I was really starting to get into it. I had my gratitude list at this point, and I was into stickers, and I was also keeping track of every single time I changed and fed my son. And I did this for, I think, this month, the next month, and it ended the month after that. But it's just a lot to write down, and after he got to a certain age, there really wasn't any point in continuing it. But you can see all the stickers that I used. I was really into. I kept track of all my steps for a while. I was really into it. And at the end of the month, I always do like a little month in review section. September, it's kind of the same thing. I changed up my layouts a little bit. I was just experimenting with different things, you know? I wrote down every single thing that my horoscope said for September because I just needed to fill 2 more pages. Oh, this is when I stopped doing it. You can see the little X's all over it. But yeah, not too exciting. There's a couple doodles in here because this is when I got my first like nicer watercolor set, like a little student grade set of Shinhan watercolors. They're actually really, really nice, and I made to a little review of them. I have a palette that I set up with them, but you can just see me just exploring and playing around. This is also around the time that I got my pencil pocket brush, and I was trying to figure out how to make straight lines with a brush tip. I was doing full page illustrations at this point, and I got a lot of inspiration from Jan Plan's things and the way that she sets up her spreads. But I was just trying to make it like fit the theme of the month, which was October. It was spooky month. And I kind of like lost my motivation a little bit of the way through. But November, that's a little illustration I did in, what's her name? I always forget her name. If you watch any art YouTubers, you're going to remember her name. Casey Golden. Casey Golden. I drew my husband and I in the style of Casey Golden for November. Don't know why. Nothing special for us happens in November. I just thought it would be cute. And I made the theme of the month, hearts. December, obviously, you can see I wasn't trying all that hard. The stickers come back into play a little bit. And you see I've really kind of condensed my collections at the beginning of the month. That's where I hid my husband's Christmas present underneath the do not peek thing. But the stickers came back in pretty full force at this point. I think I got a new pack, and I wanted to play around with them a little bit more. But I wrote a list of all the presents I got, and my favorite present that I got was my Daniel Smith watercolors, which are beautiful. You're going to see those a little bit later in the video for my April setup. But this was the setup that I made, and obviously 2 empty pages that were going to have things on them that I never got around to doing. January is my birthday month, so that was kind of the theme of the month, was just red because that's my favorite color. There's a little page right there in remembrance of my grandpa, because he passed away. And yeah, reflections, February, obviously we go back to the hearts, because I can't forget about Valentine's Day. And we actually, with the whole Valentine's Day plans page, didn't come of anything. With my son, my husband, and I just stayed home and we spent the day together, just bonding and, doing fun family things. And around this time, this month in particular, I was kind of just blah the whole way. So I was just doing random pages where I would write my thoughts and all that. And I kind of just lost the motivation because I was getting really into my art. And my bullet journal kind of just took a little bit of a backseat. And now we're going to start with the April spread that I came up with. And this is how I set up pretty much, as you could see, this is how I set up all my monthly spreads, with a cover page with a little bit of an illustration on it. My theme this month, for some reason, I chose hats. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but it's hats. So in the beginning of the on this cover page, I just did a little ringleader woman with a top hat on, and that was that. And you're gonna see that I didn't do any of the coloring yet. That's gonna come at the very end, because I painted her at the very end. And alright, so now we get into my monthly layout, and I just went for a very, very basic layout. I think I've done this one before a couple times, but it's kind of the easiest one for me to do, especially with how many weeks are in this month. This one fit pretty perfectly. You can just see, I didn't just do this freehand, by the way. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there are pencil marks everywhere. I did not freehand this. I'm not that coordinated. And my Instagram and YouTube trackers, because I'm trying to get back into really paying attention to that kind of thing, because I've just been so consumed with my practicing art and my son, and we just moved into a new apartment, so there's that, and we moved in January, and we're still in the process of setting everything up. We have the TV in the living room on a little laundry basket with a gate in front of it, so my son can't harass our television. Mom stuff. And now we're getting into the weekly layouts, and these are probably, I wasn't being very creative with them. I just kind of went with the basic, smaller layout, because I really don't need that much space. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't do much. The biggest thing I do is take my son to doctor's appointments and go grocery shopping, that kind of stuff. And doesn't require all that much space. But every weekly layout you see here is going to be exactly the same, because that's just what works for me. Maybe down the line I'll get into some better stuff when I start my new bullet journal, which I purchased about a week ago, and I'm very excited to start that and just get into number 2, because at the very end of this month, I think there's only I want to say 6 pages left, and that's not enough for a full month. So yeah. And now, after I finish this last bit up, you're gonna see the painting process for my little ringleader woman. And I did it very, very quickly, so don't judge my watercoloring skills off of this little illustration alone, because first of all, Leuchtturm paper, it's not very conducive for watercolors, and second of all, I was doing it very, very quickly, because my son was on the brink of waking up from his nap, and I think I had to actually take a few breaks in between, because I was trying to calm him back down and get him to settle and just let mommy finish. Come on. If you're ever been a parent or a babysitter, you know what I'm talking about with that. You just want that nap to last just a little bit longer. And, it never does, but whatever. I am using my Daniel Smith paints for this, despite the fact that I usually only use them in my, I have so many sketchbooks, it's not even funny. Maybe I'll do a couple sketchbook tours in the future, once I actually get one completely finished, because I have a couple that I'm just rotating right now, and none of them are finished yet. But I gave her some purple clothes, which doesn't really match at all with my theme of kind of this reddish brownish color that I used throughout the month, but it is what it is. I think it still looks nice. This jump right here, my camera actually decided to take a tumble, and I didn't notice that it was completely off kilter for a while, so you kind of missed a little bit of the painting process at this point, but it was just adding a little bit more layers, But other than that, we are kind of sort of wrapping up on her. Just a little bit more detail to her face and giving those lips and eyes some color. And yeah. We're gonna do a little flip through. I did color in the rest of the stuff on the inside off camera, but that's just because I forgot to press record, which tends to happen, but it is what it is. And this was the final month of my first ever bullet journal. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. This has been Brooke Makes Stuff. Thank you for watching.